So we're starting a new series this month, and it's on your guys' favorite topic. It's all about relationships. I'm going to focus in this month on dating relationships, but what we talk about here this month applies not only to dating relationships, but the principles found here also apply to relationships across the board. Relationships with your friends, relationships with your parents, relationships with your boss at work, relationships with your teachers at school. This applies across the board, but we're going to focus in on dating relationships because here's the truth. The truth is that every relationship, but especially our dating relationships, have the power to improve our lives or damage our lives. I want to say that again. Let that sink in for just a moment. Our relationships, and especially our dating relationships, have the power to improve our lives and the power to damage our lives. And so, the big question this entire month that we're going to focus in on and come back to repeatedly is simply this. How do we find and maintain healthy relationships? How do we find and maintain healthy relationships? Because here's the truth. You guys have all seen the effects of damaging relationships. You've experienced those. You've experienced those in your friendships. You've experienced those when your friend is dating someone that you're like, you know that's not a good idea. You've experienced that in your parents' relationships. You've experienced the effects of damaging relationships. And so what we want to do is we want to find relationships and maintain relationships that improve our lives. And so the question is, how do we find and maintain healthy relationships? Next week is the Super Bowl. Who's excited for the Super Bowl? Anybody? Not as many as I thought. Who would be more excited if another team was in the Super Bowl? I was really excited. I was hoping the Bengals would go. I don't really pay attention to football, but I was disappointed the Bengals didn't quite make it. But that's okay. Maybe next year. So the Super Bowl is next weekend. Here's the deal. Kids and students, are you guys listening back there? Kids and students all over the country are dreaming about making it to the Super Bowl. Kids and students all over the country are dreaming about making it to the Super Bowl. There are kids playing in little league teams and in middle school and in high school that are practicing, they're passing and they're rushing and they're receiving and they're blocking and they're tackling with the hopes of someday making it to a D1 college and the hopes of someday making it to the NFL and the hopes, are you listening, Ashton? You're turned around. That's okay. That's all right. Pay attention for me. And the hopes of one day making it to the Super Bowl. Like it's a huge dream for some kids across the nation. Now I know what you're thinking. What does the Super Bowl have to do with dating relationships? It's kind of opposites there. But here's the truth. Here's the deal. Your dating relationships and the kids across the country that dream about making it to the Super Bowl, it starts with a dream. That's the one thing they have in common. It starts with a dream. I can guarantee you, I almost guarantee you, that every person sitting in this room has a dream for what their future marriage is going to look like. You may have never said it out loud. You may have never actually put it into your own thoughts in your own head. But I can almost guarantee you have a dream for what your future marriage looks like. And here's the deal. If we can grab hold of what that dream is, then it will impact the way we interact in our relationships for the rest of our lives. If we can grab hold of what that dream looks like, it will impact our relationships for the rest of your life. So here's the big question. What is your dream for your future marriage? What's your dream? Now, I know that's a hard question to answer, but finding and maintaining healthy relationships starts here. Finding and maintaining a healthy dating relationship, finding and maintaining a relationship that you are going to spend the rest of your life with starts by answering this question. What's your dream? Because if you can narrow down your dream and you can get rid of everything else that's distracting you from your dream, you will find and maintain relationships that take you toward your dream, because relationships are taking us somewhere. In the book of Mark, Jesus is hanging out in Jericho. And in Jericho, Jesus goes and he does some teaching. And then as he's leaving Jericho, this blind man starts screaming, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." And this guy is just making all kinds of noise, all kinds of attention. He is crystal clear about his dream he wants to see. And the Bible is pretty gentle and kind with how it explains people's reaction to this man making all this noise and calling out for Jesus. The Bible says people rebuked him and told him to be silent. Rebuked him and told him to be silent. It's a very kind way to say it. But let's really play this out. Let's not just read the words and be like, all right, rebuked him and told him to be silent. So this man is just making all kinds of noise. Jesus, have mercy on me, have mercy on me. And you got to understand, Jesus is coming into Jericho. He's got his 12 disciples with him, but he's also got another crowd of people that have gathered around him, that are listening to him, that are hearing him preach, and they're just following him in droves. And all of a sudden, this man that sits along the side of the road begging for change starts making all this noise. And so the people that are around Jesus, his disciples and his followers, you got to expect they're kind of looking at this dude like, dude, what is he doing? Like we're all trying to listen to Jesus here and he's interrupting Jesus. And this man keeps shouting, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." And the people around him start going, "Dude, shh. Shh, like, dude, knock it off." And this is where the Bible says they rebuked him. And this word rebuke, we like to read over it and be like, all right, they rebuked him. They told him to be quiet. But you can imagine this crowd. They're like trying to listen to Jesus. I mean, let's really play this out. People were like, "Dude, shut up. Shut up. We're listening to Jesus. Let the man talk. Shut your mouth. Sit in the corner where you're supposed to be. You're a beggar along the side of the road. Jesus wants nothing to do with you. Shut up and let us hear Jesus." Like, this is a rebuke. This is not something that is just light and fluffy. They're like, you know your place, stay there. And Jesus calls him. And here's the thing. They rebuke this man, and he continues to chase his dream. I don't know if you've given it much thought or not, but my guess is that you have a dream for your future marriage. So tonight, I simply want to give you a moment. What is your dream for your future marriage? Don't answer out loud, just think about it for just a moment. What's your dream for your future marriage? Now, I know where you all are going. You're all going to physical attributes, which I get it. You guys are in middle school and high school, but my guess is that you have a deeper dream than just physical attributes for what you want in someone that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. My guess is that you are not going to chase someone based on their physical attributes if they treat you like crap all day, every day. My guess is you're going to be like, no, I think I'm going to find something. And when we can get past the physical and we can start saying, okay, there's something more important than the physical, we can start digging into the deeper meaning of what our dream is for our future marriage, what our dream is for what you really want in a relationship. And now we start to get beyond the surface level and we start to dig in deep. So what's your dream? Can you define it? That's a really, really hard question. And my guess is you have probably not given that question as a middle school and high school student very much thought. What is your dream for your future marriage? Because here's the deal. How we interact with our dreams, when we can become crystal clear about what our dream is, it impacts the way we live our life. It impacts the way we live our life today. It impacts the way we live our life in the future. It impacts the way that we do everything that we do. Listen, the guys that dream about making it to the Super Bowl, and they are crystal clear about that dream, like there is no stopping them. That changes the way that they interact with football for the rest of their lives. There are a lot of things that they sacrifice to make it to the NFL and to the Super Bowl. Instead of hanging out with friends, they go to the weight room. When practice is over, they do some extra sprints. On the weekends, they go to the field and they practice. They may get a special trainer to help train them to become better. They play year round. They work at it and work at it and work at it. And everything that gets in the way of them making it to the NFL, they shove away and they sacrifice because their dream of making it to the NFL and to the Super Bowl is crystal clear. So what is your crystal clear vision for what your future relationships look like? When we can become crystal clear, it will impact how it affects our lives. And Bartimaeus, man, he was crystal clear about what his dream was. Now, we get all excited about Bartimaeus yelling at Jesus and Jesus going and Jesus healing Bartimaeus, and this blind man can suddenly see. And I'll be honest, until I really started thinking about this week, I didn't really think about what the effects of this healing or most of Jesus' healings would have on Bartimaeus or on the other people that Jesus healed. I mean, you think about it. Bartimaeus has spent day in and day out waking up, going to the road, sitting and begging. That's what he does. Wake up, go to the road, sit and beg. And I'm sure he's had plenty of time to think, man, if only I could see. And then Jesus comes. And he has this opportunity to chase his dream and to be crystal clear about his vision for his future that he wants to see, that he wants to have this dream come true. And in that moment, there had to be something in Bartimaeus' mind that was saying, okay, if I really do this, everything's going to change. If I really do this, everything is going to change. Because see, if Bartimaeus suddenly is able to see, no one is going to expect a seeing man that is fully functioning to go and sit by the road and beg. Suddenly, his whole life is going to have to change. He is going to have to find a way to function in society and to be a well-conditioned part of what society looks like. His routine is going to change. He's going to have to learn a trade, and he's going to have to start making money. And so the question for Bartimaeus as he is shouting, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. I wonder if in his mind he's like, is this really worth it? Like everything's going to change. And it's so scary because everything is going to change. Is it really worth it to chase this dream? And this, I think, is where a ton of middle school and high school students miss it. Because if you are brutally honest with yourself, You have a dream for what your future marriage looks like. You want someone that is trustworthy, and you want someone that is loving, and you want someone that is kind, and you want someone that you can have fun with, and you want someone that you can enjoy life with. But what happens is, in order to chase a dream of that size, in middle school and high school, you have to throw some other stuff off. And suddenly, when that cute girl or that cute boy asks you out, we think, holy cow, if I chase this dream, then everything's got to change about the way that I have interacted with dating. And my question this morning, we're going to talk more about that next week, so I won't get too far into that, but my question this morning is, can you get crystal clear about what your dream is? Can you get crystal clear about what your dream for your future is? Maybe some of you are going to watch the Super Bowl. Maybe some of you will watch some of the interviews of the players that have made it to the Super Bowl. And if you watch some of those interviews and you pay close attention, you will notice the things that they have sacrificed to make it to their dream. And when we get crystal clear about our dream for our relationships, we can sacrifice the things to make it to our dream. So my question this morning is, what's your dream? In the book of Mark, Jesus stopped everybody. This guy is screaming. Jesus stops and he says, call him. Bring him to me. And in that moment, I wonder if everybody just kind of fell silent. And I wonder if Bartimaeus thought, oh my goodness, this is happening. Is this really worth it? Is this something that I can really do? Is this a dream that I can really chase? And they called the blind man saying, take heart, get up, he's calling you. And throwing off his cloak, he sprang and came to Jesus. And Jesus said to him, what do you want me to do for you? And the blind man said, Rabbi, let me recover my sight. And Jesus said to him, go your way, your faith has made you well. And immediately he recovered his sight and followed him along the way. Jesus stopped everything and called Bartimaeus to him and asked him one super, super difficult, gut-wrenching, honest question. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want, Bartimaeus, for your future? And in that moment, Bartimaeus had a decision to make. Was he going to chase his dream? You guys, every day, are pounded with the question in the area of relationships and purity. You are pounded with the question, what do you want? What do you want? That's a gut-wrenching question. You have to be gut-wrenchingly honest with yourself. Every day, what do you want? Because here's the deal. How you answer that question today is going to impact whether you are taking a step toward your dream for your future marriage or away from your dream for your future marriage. And Jesus asked this question, and Bartimaeus was crystal clear. I want to see. And so my question to you guys, when we start thinking about dating relationships and we start thinking, hey, guys, I want you as middle school and high school students to think about your future husband and your future wife. Picture it for just a moment. Think about it. What do you want? Not what do you want on the surface level. What do you really, really want? Let's get crystal clear about what our dream is for our future. Let's get crystal clear about what our vision is, because how we answer that question is going to impact where we end up 20 years from now. How we answer that question is going to impact what our life looks like 20, 30, 40 years from now. What do you want? How do we maintain and find and maintain healthy relationships? It starts by answering the question, what's your dream? What's your dream? What do you honestly, at the end of the day, when you get down to the bare bones, what is it that you want? As you begin to process that and think about that, there may be some of you sitting in here that are like, dude, it's too late for me. Like, I've got these scars and this damage, and I've made mistakes. And this is the incredible thing about the grace of God, is that it's never too late to start chasing your dream. It's never too late to turn and say, all right, yeah, I've made some mistakes, but I know where I'm headed for the future. I know what I want, and I'm going to get crystal clear about it, and I'm headed that direction now. It's never too late for that. And God offers grace. And if we can get crystal clear about our vision for the future, I am convinced that you are going to overcome your scars, and your wounds will heal. And you will find someone that is going to love you. Not a fake surface level, what the culture says is love, but a deep, compassionate relationship that is loving. The question is, what you want? What is your future dream for your marriage? Next week, we're going to talk about how chasing that dream impacts us. I talked about that a little bit, where we just kind of throw off the things that distract us from that dream. We'll talk more about that next week as we talk about improving ourselves in our relationships. But tonight, I just want to take a step back, and I want to focus on the foundation right here. What's your dream? What's your dream? What's your dream for your future marriage? And so I wrote down just a few questions that I thought of just to kind of get you jump started in thinking about those, thinking about that question. Here's just a few questions. When I think about what's your dream for your future marriage, what does that person's relationship with God look like? What character traits do you want that person to have? Do you want him to be kind, loyal, trustworthy, fun, someone that can make you laugh, someone that makes you feel safe, someone that protects you, cares for your needs, honors you, sacrifices for you? How do you want that person to relate to you? Do you want them to only notice you physically, or do you want it to be on a deeper level? How do you want that person to talk to you when they're frustrated or angry? How do you want that person to treat other people in general? How do you want that person to treat people of the opposite sex while they're dating or married to you? How should that person treat your family? How should that person treat your friends? What kind of work ethic do you want that person to have? How much pressure should that person put on you to be physical with them? What kind of parent do you want that person to be? What kind of husband or wife do you want that person to be? When you dream about your future marriage, what do you think of? What do you envision? Every day you guys are faced with this question. What do you want? That's a hard question. And my hope is that this week you will take some time and begin answering that question. And so the practical challenge this week, I've got these papers up here, and they've got those questions that I just asked on this paper. And then there's just a whole bunch of blanks. And I want to encourage you tonight at some point, during the small group time, that this is one of the small group questions to look over this paper. But at some point, grab one of these papers and take it home and just spend some time honestly thinking, all right, what is it that I really want? What kind of person do I want to spend my life with? And get crystal clear about that dream so that you can begin allowing that dream to impact the way that you relate in dating relationships. Bartimaeus was crystal clear, and he was not going to let anything distract him from his dream of being able to see. And you guys are asked the same question in your dating relationships. What do you want? Let me pray. God, thank you so much for